Hello, guys. Well, I'm hoping you're having a beautiful day. Take a look at something here, and I'll get right back to you.
You don't really think you're going to get away with this?
Well, hello. Well, guys, take a look at something. This is Google Earth, of course. And that is Greenland. Doesn't look too green, does it? Here's Greenland. There's not even any snow over here. I wonder why. But there's only... Somebody was asking that question. And I really don't have an answer for that, except for I guess that the North Pole is somewhere nearer Greenland than it is the other places. But this is Baffin Bay. And this little island here called Devon Island is where I want to take you. Look at this. Just go up here to... Here it is. Oh, what do we have here? This is some kind of a station. Oh, what's this? Look at this. NASA. Moon Humvee rover. Mars Institute. And SETI Institute. What kind of place is this? Well, over here, you can play around with this on the Google Earth for yourself, but you'll see this rock formation nearby this place. And there are those who are saying that that might be a fake picture, that they're using that spot and saying it's Mars. I cannot confirm that. Gas. I think it's more likely that no one has actually found an exact picture. But some of these areas where they're practicing Mars seems to be almost identical to Mars. Why would we believe that they're actually on Mars then? And this is an important point to make here. You see this picture where it shows Earth on top and then the same picture and it says it's Mars. It doesn't say it's Mars, it says it becomes Mars. They're just saying that you could easily CGI this or you could easily fake it. But I don't think anybody's actually found any fake pictures yet. Or couldn't. Maybe no one has proven it. Whoa. And I'll show you another one here in a minute. But it is very odd that NASA... The moon. Well, you'll see some things that are very odd here in a minute. I guess maybe it isn't odd for them to practice on the Earth for what they're going to do when they get to Mars. Maybe that's not Mars Institute, because we don't know what they're doing. But I will show you some things that I really do believe is odd. And I don't know if, you know, and I can't confirm that there are any pictures that they're claiming are of Mars, but they're really of Earth. I have seen one that purports to be truly the Earth, but they're saying that that's a real hard one, because somebody is claiming that they put out a picture saying it was from Mars, and then a few minutes later it turned out to be fake, and then they claimed they didn't send it out. I don't know. I honestly couldn't follow any of this, so I can't be sure. But what is very apparent to me is that a lot of us know that everybody's lying to us. We know that NASA is lying. We know everything they've been telling us is a lie. So because we're being lied to so much, now we're looking for lies. And I think sometimes we're finding lies where there are no lies. So this is what I think is going on with Flat Earth and Mandela effect and stuff. But why? It almost looks like the whole Facebook, the Google Earth, all this stuff is like some sort of psyop to start with. And it's almost as if they want us to believe crazy things, and they put robots and trolls out there on the internet and try to get crazy ideas going. It doesn't seem like they're coming out and saying, oh no, these pictures of people are passing around as Mars or really on Earth and stuff. It's not from us. That's a lie, and exposing it. But they don't say anything about it. And it's almost as if they're kind of encouraging this kind of ridiculous ideas so that the truther movement can look stupid. They'll just think, well, everything, if they lied about one thing, maybe they lied about everything. Because, you see, it doesn't take much. For those people who want to believe, their pacifier is good for them, or their poison food is fine, don't rock the boat, the government's great, hey, I love politics, I'm a doctor, I'm making all this money, I don't want to rock the boat. Well, so they want to believe in the illusion. So when the liars want them to hang on and don't believe us weirdos out here spreading rumors and lies about their lies, like, how dare they say that our lies are not truth? They're the ones lying or something. And so the people who believe in the lies are they're wanting to believe in the lies. So all they need is a little bit of red meat. Just throw them some red meat. Just give them a lie and tell them, oh, well, this is the reason why these idiots are saying what they're saying. See, they haven't ever found a picture to prove that we've got it from the Earth. But remember, all the pictures that they get from Earth are touched up with airbrush or something. They blot out the lakes and the rivers. And you can see it when you look at Mars or stuff. You can see the blurry areas. Some places are more clean or clear. And then it seems like there are places brushed out or airbrushed. Obviously, I'll show you here in a picture in a minute, that gives you at least an example of a place that they're claiming is on Mars may actually be on the Earth. But it's just an example of how they could take the same scene and take out the water and sort of airbrush it a little bit, make it look like, change the coloring, make it look reddish, and then you'd think it's Mars. Now, you wouldn't be able to prove that it wasn't Mars because they've taken out the water, they've airbrushed it, they've changed it a little bit. But we're just showing you that it could happen. Now, why can't we find an exact picture? We might have. I don't know if any of these pictures are real. But if they haven't, it's probably because it'd be too difficult. Because they're not giving you any shots from Devon Island where they could also have made a shot when they claimed it was from Mars, so that way they maybe cover their tracks. Because I noticed when you go up here and you're trying to go down like to street level, they won't even let you go certain places. They won't let you, certain places, you click on it and they won't let you go down there. It says no street view available there. Because they're obviously hiding some things in that area. Maybe there are places where they did their filming on Mars. That's where they're hiding it. That's what I think in my heart, but I cannot prove that. But keep watching this. It's very interesting. Oh, man, did you see that? See how when you go down to street level, it looks like you're going beneath a foundational structure, like you're going beneath some beams or something. What are those beams? It's like, I know you're going from a certain height, and you're coming down and focusing in on the ground and going down to street level. But why does it appear like it's going below the ground level? like there's some sort of a structure that we can't see with our physical eyes, but the camera somehow has to shift from when it goes to ground level. Somehow or another, it has to show this weird structure. I realize that they piece all these pictures together. They take snapshots. But it always seems odd to me. They have an explanation for everything. For instance, I've always asked the question, why haven't they ever taken movie motion film of any of the planets or outer space? Like they're going to Jupiter right now and they're taking pictures. Or to Mars, they're giving you this whole panoramic view. But they're snapshots all pieced together. They don't take any motion picture. And so a lot of people are saying, my goodness, they've got billions of our dollars and they can't take a good picture. There's no way they can take a motion picture with them. Well, their excuse is that, well, if they take a motion picture, there's more millibytes or kilobytes or whatever involved. There'd be a lot of database that they'd have to send back, or a lot of data, and it would take a very extremely good internet connection, I guess is what you might say, to stream that live. So they can only stream snapshots. But if their argument is that because there's no, well, because of the distance, they can't stream it very fast. But think about it. If they're using Wi-Fi and they're trying to stream a picture back from Jupiter using Wi-Fi, you'd never get it back here. There's no way they're using Wi-Fi signals. They're probably they can use gamma rays. They can use any kind of signal that they want to. Somehow or another, they're getting signals for hundreds of millions of miles away from Earth. It doesn't really seem like a good and honest excuse to say, well, we can somehow do something that's impossible, like send pictures back to Earth several hundred million miles away, but we just can't send motion pictures. I don't see how they're able to send any pictures or any information that far, but I also smell a big excuse here or a subterfuge going on, because they don't have to send it back live to be something like immediately. They could send it back, and if it took a long time to get back, if it took days and days and days to get the feed or whatever, because it would be invaluable. And like when they went up there, the astronauts to the moon supposedly, and they came back, they didn't take any film with them, motion picture, that they could have brought it back with them on the return. So I don't know. I think it's fishy. And as you probably know, China has recently gone to Mars, supposedly, and they've made their big landing, and they filmed the whole thing. It's kind of like that big event that we had in the 60s where it was like the eagle has landed and everything. Well, I have a clip here I will show you where their space agency, whatever, is seen clapping and everything because they landed on Mars. It really gives you the feeling. Remember the videos that were going around where it was showing Korea, and it looked like a beautiful place, North Korea, right? They took you on a tour, but the only place they took you was this one road that they keep up and make it look really nice, and has restaurants and has motels, and anybody comes to visit the country, that's where they take them. They never get to go off the beaten path and see the slums and the people slaving and the debauchery that people are living in there. And it's easy for anybody who wants to see the truth to start becoming suspicious that maybe the Koreans are lying. Yes, people do lie. People hide things from the rest of the... See, we can see very, very clearly that the North Koreans are hiding the truth from their people. They don't even know what it's like on the outside world. They're living in a Truman Show. But I think we're all living in one. The Russians, we used to see them and think, oh, those poor people, they're living behind the Iron Curtain. And they don't have any freedom, but they don't know any better because this is what they're being told with their propaganda. They control their media. Oh, it's terrible. Well, you see, they're controlling our media a lot more, and we're being filled with lots of lies, and you can't believe anything you hear. You just can't believe anything you hear. And I find it very, very suspicious when I see this picture. Take a look at this. This really looks suspicious to me. What do you think? Watch as this thing lands. Obviously CGI, because when you see it touch down, you're imagining in your mind it's going to kind of make an abrupt bump when it hits, or maybe some sand will be kicked up or whatever, or even like crash at that little flimsy thing, it might break one of his legs off or something when it lands, but it just stops as if it defies gravity. That's CGI, friends. And then if you watch further, they start clapping as though on cue. Just like as we saw some pictures in North Korea when Kim Jong-un, the father, Kim Jong-il, remember when he died and the whole country was in mourning? Well, it was all fake. If they didn't cry and weep and mourn, it's like they would probably shoot him in the head or something. It was really, really crazy, the pressure they were under to mourn the loss of this man that was probably their beloved prison ward, instead of their dear leader or whatever. I think it's their dear prison ward. But I'm sure all of the people in North Korea don't like him, but they have, maybe some of them even believe or have made themselves believe that they love him because they've gotten favors doing that. Human nature is crazy. If there is an incentive to act a certain way, many humans will act that way, even if it's crazy. So watch here as these people that are in what is the equivalent, I guess, to NASA in China, on cue, they all start clapping.
贺总刚才接受采访的时候已经说到了，不容易，这是一个标志着中国人的。
So we thought it was funny when we saw the North Koreans pandering to their dear leader, right, and weeping and crying and acting, just so they could live, just so they could not be persecuted, not go to jail or something. Well, the sad part is the entire Chinese government, the people there, the communist government of China, all the people, a 1.5 billion people, I think it is, they're living under the same circumstances where their government has snatched their mind right out of their head. Their hearts are missing. They don't even have a soul. They're just doing what they're told. This is not freedom. This is not love. Is it a regimentary life? But if you think it's only going on in North Korea and China, take a look at the goons in this world. Watch this. So it comes down in a parachute, but there's no atmosphere. That would be impossible. There's no upward thrust if there's no air. And if you noticed when it landed, it was CGI. It didn't bounce at all. And if you look, the Americans are clapping just like the Chinese, right on cue. They know how to do what their master says. But these pictures, now that is supposed to be Devon Island. That's not Mars. Does it look like Mars? It definitely could be, but we don't know. I did find a picture on Devon Island that looks like this picture. I couldn't even find that picture on Devon Island. So if I can't find pictures that other people are finding on Devon Island, and I can't find them, then it's like searching for a needle in a haystack. Wouldn't be able to find the exact picture that they're saying is on Mars. And like I said, there's an area up there on Devon Island that is off limits. They won't let you go and come down and explore it with Google Earth. So we don't really know what's there. I think it may be scenes that they're claiming is on Mars. But they definitely tell us that they're there on Devon Island. Mars is. They say they're there and they're just doing experiments. That they're practicing how they're going to go to Mars. Well, let me show you some of the pictures. First, we'll just take a look at some of these pictures. Again, I'm not saying that any of these pictures are real pictures of Mars. Some of these pictures are definitely real pictures of Devon Island. But there is not any proof whatsoever, friends. A lot of the stuff, when you go on to YouTube, try and find somebody's going to prove to you that all the Mars pictures are fake. They're hoping for it to be true, but they don't really give any proof. Just like people say, we believe in the flat earth, but there isn't any proof for that. There's a lot of conspiracies that people put forward. And a lot of times people really want to believe in certain things. And look, it might even be true, but we don't have any proof because they're hiding that from us. So we're looking at all these pictures. There's definitely something going on. They claim they lost all the moon technology. They can't get back to the moon, but yet they're on Mars. That's ridiculous. They say stupid things. Why would they lose all the old footage of the time they were on Mars before? But somehow or other they say they taped over it. All of that is obviously patentably false. They are definitely lying to us. You can prove that many different ways. When you look at that time that they went to the moon and you could see the Earth rising in the background, people have shown that that would not be the size of the Earth rising. It would look a lot bigger than that. We've talked many times about the radiation, whether or not they could actually withstand the radiation outside of the Earth's atmosphere. We haven't come to a conclusion on that. I have not seen anyone give any actual figures to prove one way or the other. Certainly people are saying, I don't think it's true, and others are. But you don't hear NASA coming out and saying, oh, look, this is how it is true. They seem to kind of like, once in a while, make an explanation, but whenever they do, it's patentably false. It's all a big farce. But like the picture says, that's proof that we were on Mars, right? Just give us a picture, tint it red. Look at supposedly the sky looks red on Mars. Do you guys really believe it? And look at it says it travels, the new NASA rover supposedly traveled 127,000 miles to Mars. And it traveled 406 miles per minute and 6.666667 miles per second. What are they trying to tell us? I mean, they could have made up any speed, right? They could have even just made it 6.678888, and we wouldn't have known. And maybe it was it constant speed? But they wrote 66666 for some reason. It's like they wanted to write that. If they're making that up, then they're making it up, obviously, to scare us. But if they're not making it up, then who's rounding off the numbers to 66666 that far? Like they've measured it to the point where, and it's got to be all sixes. I mean, that doesn't make sense. It sounds far-fetched. That's all I can say. There's a lot of things that sound far-fetched. For instance, this here airplane travels over Mach 3, I think 1,800 miles an hour. That's the fastest ship we have. You know, and it's aerodynamic. It's a lean machine, you know, and it's got special rocket power and everything. But look at this thing, that little donut looking cupcake thing. They're claiming that thing went 12 times faster. And it's shooting out through space. Now look, it's true that once you get out of the Earth's atmosphere, I mean, there's a law that Newton had that says anything that's in a certain speed will go in the same speed for infinity until acted upon by another force. So if there's no force out there, no wind, there's no gravity, it's just open space, then they would be able to go faster. But you have to get the ship up to that speed first. And once you go into the speeds like that, sometimes, well, you might have to deal with friction. Maybe they wouldn't have to deal with that out in space. I mean, look, there's all kinds of things we just don't know. But they're outside of the Earth's atmosphere. There's going to be bombarded with radiation. Would the metal of the ship reflect the radiation off? Do they have some special? Who knows? But I haven't heard a lot of real answers, just a lot of speculation. But yeah, it seems very odd to me that there are people walking around on Devon Island with NASA badges on their lapel in a truck with NASA written on the side. What are they doing? Taking samples of the Earth, pretending that they're taking samples because they got to learn how to take samples? So, well, we'll just go pretend we're, you know, what are they going to send a whole, look at all these people they're supposedly training. What are they training? What, look, about 100 people. Are they all going to go to the moon one day? Is this a moon party or a Mars party they're going to send them all? And they're teaching them how to survive in that situation? Are they already getting ready for sending a crew up there? Why would they be putting 100 people, I don't know how many, but you got to ask, you know, we don't ask any questions. What are these people doing? Trying to survive freezing temperatures? Because I guess Mars would be very cold, right? If you keep watching here, and then they just put like little R2-32 or whatever you call that machine on Star Wars. They just make these little robot things and just place them around the desert somewhere to make it look real or something. I don't know. There's some kind of white thing over there in the distance. Why that's there, I don't know. Just because it looks like Mars, we got to go and wander around for weeks and months just to get the feel of it? Well, it's not going to be like Mars. And this thing here is another one of these things that looks like a little R2-D2 or whatever you call it. It was on Star Wars. Just sitting out in the middle of the desert. Maybe it's some sort of a radio tower or something. An antenna of some kind, or who knows what that thing was. But see, if they are using pictures from this area, they'd have to paint the sky pink and brush it out. I saw a video where somebody was taking pictures from Earth and just changing the color and painting the clouds out, and it looked just like Mars. But I was looking around down there, and I noticed that there are some, what looks to be like helicopters flying around in the sky as well in that area. So it's like they're just commandeering the whole area. The government's up there doing all these drills, right, all around the world. They're just playing with billions of our dollars, right? And what are they practicing for? They don't tell us all what they're doing. The people that are there don't even know what they're doing. What kind of a psyop is this world that we live in, guys? What kind of a psyop do we live in? Is that a plane or a helicopter? Now, if you go north, I find there was a whole caravan of these people traveling by four-wheeler. And they travel all the way across from that location. They're all traveling further north where it's actually covered in snow and ice. Why are they doing that? Maybe the snow makes it look more like Mars, and then when they paint it red, it gives you the impression it's sand, but it's really snow. I don't know. But why are they... So they're there practicing what it would be like to live on Mars, or to go to Mars. But instead of doing things that you'd think they would be doing, they're up marching on a long trek to the North Pole. What are they doing? Why is NASA got all these people? And there's shows where they interview the people that live up there. And they're as honest and sincere. They're like, oh, we're just doing this. We're just practicing because one day we're all going to go to the... what? Practicing, learning to do things in a cold environment? I don't know. It just doesn't seem completely on the up and up. Listen to this guy.
Work with the Mars Institute and the SETI Institute. Devon Island is the world's largest uninhabited island. It's cold, dry. I call this place Mars on Earth. We find exactly the same looking canyons, valleys, and gullies.
Okay, did you hear what he said? He says you find exactly the same canyons and valleys. What is he saying? Exactly. I mean, it's a figure of speech, but then take a look. They keep showing this canyon. And there's this group. This is where they've trekked to, across the frozen Arctic, to get to this cliff. And they're all camping there. And then they look off the cliff, and there's this amazing valley. Now you airbrush all the lakes out of there and turn it red, and what do you got? Take a look. Okay, you see those little strange fingers, looks like turkey claws or something? Zoom down in there. This is Mars. We're zooming down into one of these little canyons. And look at that. See? You can definitely take a canyon on Mars or a canyon on Devon Island and just look on the right. See, it's got the same little, it looks like the same spot. And so some people and look at this. They're walking around practicing wearing heavy suits with bubbles on their head. Why? Why is this girl practicing wearing this when she's not going to Mars? Or I don't think they're going anytime soon. So is it time really for them to be and why are they practicing driving four-wheelers? Are they going to use four-wheelers up there on Mars? Or something similar? Why are they building these little rovers to run around on Devon Island? It doesn't make sense that you need to practice this kind of thing. Yeah, maybe the astronauts would have to if they're actually going to Mars, but I have not heard that they're already gearing up and they're ready to go to Mars already. I have not heard that. I don't think you would train people that are in their maybe early 30s and 20s to do this kind of work. If you're not going to go to Mars for another 10 years, these guys will be old and dead by that time. None of this makes any sense. None of it. Unless this is what they're telling the crew, and they're just the grunts, and they don't know what's going on. But perhaps there's a few other people, while they're there, messing around, setting stage up and stuff, not knowing why they're doing it. Maybe there's some other people who actually know what they're doing behind the scenes, filming in other locations while they're not looking, and making those areas off limits to these guys even, so they don't even know. And then they see the pictures coming back from Mars, and they're like, oh, that looks just like where we're at. Well, that's why they chose that area. But it actually is the same area that they're filming. They just touch it up with red color. And yeah, that's what I think. But I don't know. We don't have proof. but we definitely have proof that they're lying to us. Look at that little mouse. That's that little groundhog. Remember this picture? Have you seen this picture where somebody says they found a groundhog on Mars? It sure does look like it, doesn't it? I wonder if that's Devon Island and not Mars. People are saying it. That maybe that actually might be a little groundhog because it might actually be on Earth. And take a look at this. I don't know if this is real or CGI, guys. But it's definitely the same spot, both sides. And then this one. I have seen this on Mars, this little pyramid thing. Some people are saying that maybe this little pyramid thing is that. And they're just painting it to look like a rock. Who knows? I don't know. And then you've probably seen this one on the internet where this looks like a little man walking around. And I always thought, how stupid, right? That's just some anomaly. Well, after seeing the Devon Island and all these grunts running around, on their four-wheelers, I'm wondering if perhaps maybe it really is a person just sitting around out there because it's actually Devon Island and not Mars. Maybe that's some woman, she's on her break. Why are they wearing helmets with glass? With backpacks and stuff. Obviously, they're doing something that they're not telling us. But, if they're just practicing up there, why are they building infrastructure? They're not really taking real samples because they're just pretending to take samples that they're going to do some other time on Mars. Then why do they need all of this suits and all, why do they put 1, 2, and 3 on their backpacks rather than their names or whatever? Maybe it's because they don't want us to know who they are. I don't know. They're sure taking a lot of little snapshots. They want us to know they're there. Maybe it's because they know that we're going to figure it out. But if they pretend that, oh yeah, well the reason why you see pictures of Devon Island is because we're practicing there. I don't know. Anyway. They sure are going through a lot of trouble to use our billions of dollars, our taxpayer money down the drain, just playing around like this with little model cars out in the desert. Right? All the stuff that they're doing, they're scientists, they're doing important work, Dave. Really? What have they done for us lately? Except spend all of our money and turn the world into a place called hell. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.